United States Number Highway System. The United States Number Highway System is an integrated network of road and highway number within a nationwide grid to the contiguous United States. As the designation and numbering of these highways were coordinated among the states, they are sometimes called federal highway, but the roadways were built and have always been maintained by state and local governments since their initial designation in 1926. The route number and location are coordinated by American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, the only federal involved in ASESTO in a novating seat for the United States Department of Transportation. Generally, most north-to-south highway are odd number with the lowest number in the east and the highest in the west, while east to west highway are typically even number with the lowest number in the north and the highest in the south. Through the grid guidelines are not rigidly followed, and many expectations exist. Major north-south rules generally have number ending in 1, while major east-west rules usually have number ending in 0. 3-digit number highways are generally super routes of parent highway. For example, US Route 264 is a super of US 64. Some divided routes such as U19E and US 19W exist to provide two elements for one route. Special routes which can be labeled as alternate bypass and business depending on the ended use provide a parallel routing. The mainlines US highway before the US routes were designated auto trails designated by Auto Trails Association will the main means of marking road through the United States. They were private organizations, and the system of roads making at the time has hard hazard and not uniform. In 1925, the Joint Board on Interstable Highway recommended by the American Association of State Highway officials were to form a national numbering system to rationalize the road. After several meetings, a final report was approved by the U.S. Department of Agriculture in November 1925. After getting feedback from the state, they made several modifications. The U.S. highway system was approved on November 11, 1926. Expansion of U.S. highway system continued until 1956, when the interstate highway system was laid out and began construction. Used the administration of President David D. Eisenhower. After the national implementation of interstate highway system, many U.S. roads that had been bypassed and overlaid with interstate highway with dismantled and removed for the system. In some places, the U.S. roads remain alongside the interstate and services as a means of interstate travelers to access local services, and as secondary feeders road, or as important major arteries in their own side, right in their own in other places. When there is no nearly interstate highways, the U.S. roads often remains as the most well developed road for long distance travel. While the system growth has slowed in recent decades, the U.S. highway system remains in place to this day, and new routes and association added to the system detail history. Early auto trails in 1903, Hareto Naslo Jackson became the first documented person to drive an automobile. This can Francisco and New York using only a connection of dirty road, cow path, and railroad bed on his journey, covered by the press, became a national sensation and called for a system of long distance road. In the early 1910s, Auto Trails Organization, more previently the Lincoln Highway, began to spring up, making and promoting routes for the new reaction of long distance automobile travel. The Yellowstone Trails was another of earliest example. While many of these organizations worked with towns and states along the routes to improve the roadway, others simply choose a routes based on towns that are willing to pay dues, put up sign, and did little else. Wisconsin was the first state in the U.S. to number its highway accurate sign in May in 1918. Other states soon followed in 1922. The New England states got together to establish the sixth state. The New England interstate rules behind the scene. The federal aid program had begun with the passage of Federal Aid Road Act in 1916, providing 50% monetary support for the federal government for improvement of major roads. The Federal Aid Highway Act of 1921 limited the route of 7% of each state road, while 3 in every 7 road had to be interstable. In character identification of these main road was completed in 1923. The American Association of State Highway Officials, formed in 1914 to help establish roadway standards, began to plan a system of marked and numbered interstable highways. As its 1924 meeting, ASHO recommended that the Secretary of Agriculture work with the state to designate these routes. Secretary Hardwick M. Grow appointed the Joint Board on Interstate Highway as recommended by ASHO on March 2, 1925. The board was composed of 921 state highway officials and 3 federal Bureau of Public Roads official. At the first meeting on April 20 and 21, the group closed the name US Highway as the designation for the rules. They decided that the system would not be limited to the federal aid network. If the West Road did not receive federal fund, it would still be included. The tentative design for the US road shield were also chosen based on the shield found on the Great Seal of the United States. The Auto Trail Association rejected the elimination of highway names. Six regional meetings were held to hammer out the detail. May 15th from the west, May 27 from the Mississippi Valley, June 3 for the Great Lakes, June 8 for the South, June 15 for the North Atlantic, and June 15 for New Land. Representatives of the Auto Trail Association were not able to formally address for meeting. However, as the compromise, they tracked with the joint board members. The association finally settled on a general agreement with the numbering plans as named trails would still be included. The tentative system added up to 81,000 mil, 2.8% of the public road mileage at the time. The second full meeting was held August 3 and 4 in 1925. At the meeting, discussion was held over the appropriate density of roads. William F. Williams of Massachusetts, Quest and Friedrich Genie of New York favored a system of only major transcontinental highway system highways highway while many states recommended a large place of road of only regional importance. Green, in particular, intended New York system to have four major through roads as an example to the other states.